you looking for a beautifully renovated home with awesome curb appeal for your growing family? I'm gonna take you guys inside this super sweet 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath home in the Baywood neighborhood in San Mateo. And then after that, I'm gonna take you guys to Baywood Elementary, Aragon High School, and Brown Middle. And join me every Monday at 5 p.m. for my latest videos. One thing I love about this location and this kind of part of San Mateo, which is kind of consistent throughout the Baywood, Aragon, Baywood Knolls neighborhood, is having this attached 2-car garage. This is kind of a big deal. Like, you can go in Burlingame at this price point, and here the asking price is $3,595,000. And so to have a 2-car attached garage that's kind of side by side is something that I think is pretty awesome. So let's go inside and take a look. I just wanted to show you guys up here, like, we have a nice second story, kind of really cute entryway here. Let's go ahead and pop inside. So this house here is about 2,600 square feet, and for a 4-bedroom, that is fantastic. You can kind of get up to 3,000 square feet for a 4-bedroom, but you're gonna love this floor plan. I'm pretty excited to give you guys an overview. So over here, which we're gonna come back to in a minute, this is the main living area, kitchen. We do have a ground floor bedroom, but let's take a look over here. You kind of walk in the front door, and you've got this huge open space in here with, I think these are 9 or 10 foot ceilings, and we have a fireplace here that is gas burning, and then we have some cool built-ins over here. I don't know about you, but I am a super fanboy of built-ins. There's a lot of space in here. You could have on this wall if you wanted. This could be a good spot to put a TV or kids' playroom. There's a lot going on in here. And then even on the windows, there's automatic window blinds that kind of come down, and we have a nice view looking out on the street. And I just love how much light that we're getting in this house. I mean, you can see all the landscaping out there. It is super beautiful. And let's kind of head this way. And right over here, this is the entrance to go up to the second level, which we're gonna come back to in a sec. But first, let's go down here. I wanna show you the ground floor bedroom, which is super awesome. Everyone loves this. I would say, I don't know, half of my buyers who are interested in buying homes at this square footage, or way more than that probably, like, I really wanna have a ground floor bedroom. It's nice if you ever break your leg, you have the in-laws visiting or your parents, and you just don't want anyone to have any stairs. This is the way to go. This room is not massive, but it totally checks the box and is really perfect, like, for work from home and all that. And then over here, we just have a powder room. Super simple, but that's nice to have on the main level, because you'd be surprised at these price points. Sometimes we'll see homes that don't even have a ground floor bathroom. It's kind of ridiculous. We have a coat closet over here. And then I love over here, this is kind of my favorite part of the house, is looking out into this beautiful backyard, which we're gonna show you after I finish the main walk through the house. But this is a huge living space here. You could put a TV here, obviously for staging. We like to keep it very simple. And this is at the top of a lot of people's list here, having double French doors that open up to the backyard. I really love that. You know, a lot of times you'll see these houses where there's just one door to the yard, and I don't know, I think that's kind of lame. So I'm a huge fan of having like the couple doors there. And then there's 2 doors on the side that are fixed, plus the 2 doors in the middle there. Now let's pop over here and I'll show you guys the dining room. And again, someone buys this house, they might keep the floor plan the way it is. It's very traditional, a little bit more formal, but someone might also consider like opening up this wall here, opening up this wall to the kitchen. My clients kind of were very happy with the setup here, but I could totally see someone taking this to the next level if they wanted, and just kind of doing this more like eat-in kitchen, and then maybe still keeping this as a dining area, but maybe putting a breakfast bar here. That could be pretty cool. And again, we have some awesome bay windows that look out into the backyard. But come on in here, let's take a look at the kitchen. Again, this is super simple. Could you spend more money and get a kitchen that is bigger than this? For sure you could, but I think this is really efficient. It's nice that we have this eat-in area. When you look out the window, we're not seeing the neighbor, which is kind of a big thing for me. You know, regardless of what house it is or how much money you choose to spend, I just like homes where you're not having to look directly at the neighbor and there's a beautiful fence, or you have some vines growing up. Like at our house in Burlingame, we ended up planting vines, like some kind of fig tree, I think is what it's called. And then it grew all the way up over the top of the fence. And then after 3 years, we ended up putting more wires across the top, and then the plant just kind of grew up. And so now it's like maybe 8 or 9 feet of privacy with our neighbors. And you know, we kind of have plants on both sides. It's pretty cool. Kitchen here with the countertops, dishwasher over here, fridge over here. And then we have a massive Viking stove like right here. This is pretty sweet. And then there is a built-in pantry. I'm a huge fan of these. I mean, hey, for $3.5 million, look how much space you get. I'm just joking. If you've seen some of my other videos, you'll notice that it's just hard to get a lot of storage space space here on the peninsula, but it is really nice to have a pantry. Let's keep going. I want to take you guys over here and we're going to pop up top and then we'll come back down. Again, what I love about this floor plan is up top, we have 3 bedrooms and a couple baths. So let's kind of start over here where we've got the hall bath or the guest bath. And this is a full bathroom. You got a pretty big shower here, just to give you an idea how much space is here. We're kind of about almost 3 feet if I had to guess. You get a lot of light coming in from the street, automatic window blinds. We have some nice tile floors. I love this really thick glass. You tell they really spent some money on this bathroom remodel here. And then if we continue, we have basically 2 bedrooms over here plus the primary bedroom. So let's go into the first kids bedroom or guest bedroom. It's actually a pretty good size. So that one downstairs was maybe 2/3 the size of this if I had to guess, but you have a beautiful view of the backyard. And just standing here, this is kind of a big deal. And I personally would be willing to pay a lot for this. You can barely see any other house that's nearby. So if that's something that's important to you, it's something that you can solve with money. If you do buy a house and the landscaping is not so great, you can kind of create the space like a kind of a green screen all around the perimeter, which could cost anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000 depending on like the length and how far and how big. Like at our house, when we planted the biggest trees that we could get in our backyard without hiring a crane were 48 by 48, so 4 by 4, and they were able to kind of bring those down the side. And I think that at the time those are maybe $700 or $800, but we could have got trees that were 24 by 24 or 36 by 36. But if you get bigger, then you're gonna get that privacy and growth a lot sooner. And so from a financial perspective, they're a little pricier, but I think if your goal is to have privacy in the context of how expensive these homes are, that's a no-brainer way to go. All right, let's continue over here to the second guest bedroom. And again, super simple. We have this stage right now with 2 twin beds. We got a desk over here and we have window. There's actually 3 huge picture windows here that open up onto the street, but it's kind of a nice view. There's no house that's like right in your mix. Kind of where we are in Baywood Knolls, I love that the streets are a little bit wider than other streets in San Mateo. Now let's pop over here and I'll mention, hey, these are some older original floors, but I really love them. These are oak. If you're doing a brand new house now and you're kind of like, what is the latest fashion and trend? You're gonna be looking at some wider plank European oak floors, which is what we have in our house, and I really love them. They're kind of about this wide, and they just kind of help the space feel a lot bigger. What we have here, this is very more typical and original and beautiful. So whoever buys it, I think they're gonna keep it exactly the way that it is, and I super love it. Over here is the primary bath. You can kind of see they got this cool barn door here. And then if we pop in here, this is huge. I think you're really gonna like this, especially for a home with 2,600 square feet. You have a double sink here. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's nice to have this extra space. I've only got 1 sink at my house. My wife and I, though, are rarely brushing our teeth at the same time, so it's no big deal, but our house is smaller than this. So I like at this square footage, you do have a lot of this extra space. In case you're wondering, HGTV style, these are real orchids, okay? We're not chinsing out here. And then in the bathroom, we have a lot of space, right? So you've got your soaking tub here. We've got a huge shower here with a nice step there for the ladies. And this is just like a legit primary bath. So someone could totally just move right into here if they wanted. This yard here is killer. The only thing that you might want is a bigger yard, but for what this is on this size lot, this is kind of as good as it gets. If you look around here, you're not seeing another massive, 2-story home looking right into your backyard. There's 2 large homes in the background that I can kind of see through filtered light. So you wouldn't necessarily want to stand out here in your birthday suit, but it is pretty private. You can go in Easton Edition, for example, in Burlingame, like McMansion style, and those are awesome homes too, but you're not going to necessarily get the privacy that you're seeing here. And I think this is a tremendous selling point here. So it's cool that there's a table area. We got a barbecue over here. And again, just when you see this retaining wall here and then the fence, it's nice to have this much kind of height. Code, I believe, is a 6-foot fence, but you kind of benefit from having this retaining wall here. And then you get a little extra height, whereas on the other side, it's a little bit lower. And then kind of down the side of the house here, we got a lot of extra space. So if you are moving down from San Francisco and you're watching this and you're like, geez, this is amazing. I'm so used to in the city where homes are like 2 inches apart. Here you actually have space where you could put a trash can if you wanted to, store surfboards, stand-up paddleboard, whatever it is, like you just got the space here. I think that's nice. I just love how spacious this is back here. We have new grass that we just kind of put down. We get the high fences in the back, really lush landscaping if you wanted to. There's so much you could do back here. You could pop a hot tub back here. You could even consider putting in an ADU. Like at my house, we have one that's about 275 square feet. So if you were to pop one in here, it'd probably kind of be something like this to this. And what's interesting is in the city of San Mateo, you can't do this in other cities as far as I'm aware, you can do a 2-story ADU if you wanted. Now, your neighbor may or may not love that, but you are allowed to do that. Caveat, check with your architect, check with the city, but that is my understanding. And so you could do something pretty sweet back here if you wanted without kind of infringing on the whole yard. You could even put in a little pool if you wanted to. If this is the kind of home that resonates with you, or you're just thinking about buying a home in San Mateo, give me a shout. Would love to chat with you. I am super excited about this garage because what we all need is more storage space. I mean, everyone needs a place for their Kirkland toilet paper, their kids' bikes, their Peloton, whatever it is. It's just nice to have that square footage. So again, this is super wide, washer dryer here. If you wanted to, you could do something like a little bit more built-in, a little bit more formal with more cabinetry. But again, this is a blank slate, super easy to do that. We've got a freezer here, and just take a look at how high these ceilings are. They're massive, so you could build like a lot more shelving up there. I think it's a good place to put suitcases or skis or other things that you don't really need that often. I'd probably consider putting in a drop-down ladder because those are really convenient. There's a couple different styles on those, but they both would fit in here really well. Maybe if you want to add in some more insulation in the ceiling, if you plan to use this space more often, you could do that. And of course, you could convert this space to a junior ADU if that was up your alley, but you just want to also be cognizant of still having space to store your stuff. But this space is big enough where you could do that, and you could park in the driveway. So extra way to add value to this house if you wanted to. So what's nice about kind of the Baywood Knolls neighborhood, and we're in Baywood Knolls, is you can kind of see this. I mean, these houses are so beautiful. I mean, these trees don't even look real. They kind of look fake. They are so gorgeous. There's one of those in front of the house that I was just showing you guys. But you kind of get the wider streets in here. You're not really seeing any like 2-bedroom homes like you will in a couple parts of San Mateo or even in Burlingame. So if you're looking for a starter home in Burlingame, you can go get a 2-bedroom there, but you can't really get that in here. You're more likely to get a lot of these 2-story homes. Some have been beautifully renovated over time. Some are a little bit more original. But the neighborhood that we're in right now that's served by Baywood Elementary School, there's 5 neighborhoods that feed into Baywood Elementary School, which is the elementary school for the neighborhood. First, there's Baywood, which is west of El Camino, south of Crystal Springs Road, east of Alameda, and just kind of north of Aragon Boulevard. And then south of that is the Aragon neighborhood. And then south of that is Homestead Housing, although most people don't really say Homestead Housing, they would just say Aragon. And then west of Alameda is where we are now in the Baywood Knolls neighborhood. And then just south of where we are is the Foothill Terrace neighborhood. Foothill Terrace is a little bit different from the other 4 neighborhoods just in terms of the types of homes. And there you're gonna see mostly 1-level ranch style houses, which is just kind of what's there. And then you'll see some 2-story homes that people have added on to over time. But if you are into older homes with character, those hardwood floors that I was showing you, maybe some arched doorways, a little bit of history, maybe there's a floor that creaks or two, you're probably really gonna like Baywood or Baywood Knolls. So you might be wondering, what does it cost to buy a home in one of these beautiful neighborhoods? Unfortunately, it is not inexpensive. You could be looking at, it's gonna be hard to spend under $2 million here for sure. So you're gonna be kind of starting in the mid-2s and then kind of going all the way on up to low 4s. We don't really see a whole lot that happens over 4, but I had a listing on Harvard a few years ago that sold a little over 4 million. And then as we kind of come to the bottom here of Oregon and Bucknell, this is crazy. You have Aragon High School right here, which you kind of see the red in the distance, might be a little hard to see. And then if we look over here, it's probably again to be a little hard to see, but that is where Baywood Elementary School is. So you kind of have the little kind of cut through right there, or you can kind of go around this way. So if you value your kid be able to walk to high school, boom, box checked. Or if you value your kid be able to walk to middle school, boom, box checked, because that is Burrell Middle School, which is just on the other side of Alameda, and that's just like 2-3 blocks away from here. So there's nowhere else that I'm aware of on the North Peninsula where if you wanted your kids to be able to walk to elementary, middle, and high school, where you could buy a house. It's not really a money thing. It's not like if your budget was $10 million, you could check that box. It is really unique for this little pocket. So personally, I'm just a huge fan, especially for people with little kids where they're like, I want to buy something. And who knows, maybe when my kids are 18 and they're off to school, they'll go ahead and move somewhere else. But for that time period of K through 12, this is where you can do it. Now we're just at the end of the block here, but here we have Aragon High School, and then just down there, there's a stop sign, which might be a little hard to see, but that is Alameda. And so that kind of bisects this area where we have over here Baywood Knolls, and over there we have Baywood, Aragon, and Homestead Husing. And then just over here, just on the southern side of Aragon High School is Foothill Terrace. And then if we just go west here, you can't really see too much because it's just a street, that is Hillsborough. All right, and then here is the front of Aragon High School, and this is a huge campus. There's a lot of kids who go here. This is one of the top high schools in the district, but we have some massive fields over here, baseball field, soccer field, football field, and you just can kind of see here how great they take care of the school. In the last few years, there was tens of millions of dollars that went into upgrading all the infrastructure at all of the high schools in the San Mateo Union High School District, so I'm really proud of that. All of the high schools that we have here in San Mateo, there's actually 3 public high schools, Aragon, San Mateo, and Hillsdale, and they're all great schools. I hear good things all the time. I mean, you could complain about every school if you want, of course, but generally speaking, I frequently hear good things because I know so many friends and clients who send their kids to these schools, and they're all pretty happy, mostly. Because, hey, I know having a high school kid can be challenging. I was one myself, but this is a good place to be. So you might be wondering, who lives in these areas? Who's buying homes here? In my experience, a majority of the demographic is gonna be families from early 30s to kind of mid to late 40s. But again, we really see everyone. I'm working with one client right now who's in her 70s, and she's looking to kind of downsize into a 1-level home, ideally in this neighborhood. So we kind of get a little bit of something for everyone. And then again, we have behind me, that's Aragon High School. And then just right here is Baywood. But you can see this is Alameda here. This is kind of the artery for the neighborhood. Alameda starts all the way at Crystal Springs Road, bordering Hillsborough. This goes all the way down to the 92 freeway and then continues all the way to Belmont, actually. If you're just curious to learn a little bit more about the neighborhood or what it's like living here, give me a call. I'd love to chat more with you. I also want to give you an idea on why this location is so stellar, because we are really close to downtown San Mateo. So from Baywood Knolls, you're like a 2-minute walk to the Baywood neighborhood. And then from wherever you are in Baywood, you're like a 1 to 5-minute walk to downtown San Mateo, which is incredible. So check out my video all about downtown San Mateo if you're curious about that. But there's 171 different restaurants just in downtown San Mateo. I mean, there's like a dozen ramen places, a bunch of Mexican places. I mean, there's really everything that's there. Italian, pizza, you name it. Downtown San Mateo has the richest diversity of cuisine, in my opinion, of any town on the peninsula. You know, other towns, they're kind of known for different things, but San Mateo, I feel like you're gonna check a lot of different boxes. And if you live here, I mean, sure, you can go to downtown Burlingame, you can go to downtown San Carlos and Laurel Street, but you kind of got it all right here downtown. There's also Central Park, where in December, in the baseball outfield there, they do San Mateo on Ice. There's the Japanese Tea Garden, which is a beautifully relaxing place to be. There's music in the park throughout the summer. I think it's from May till August, something like that. They do movie nights, and this is all really close. And I would say from Baywood Knolls here, it's weekend walkable or just daytime walkable, of course, whenever. It's really not a big deal, but that's a huge thing that I think that people value about living here. I also kind of like this area a ton because it's so centrally located. So because we're north of 92, if you are heading a little bit more south or north, you kind of get the benefit of not getting stuck in like doomsday traffic. It does get kind of miserable if you're like 8:30 around 101 and Hillsdale Boulevard, you know, 101 92 as well. But I like this spot because if you work up in the city a few days a week or you work down in the valley, it's not stressful because you're kind of right in the middle. So from a career perspective, if you really value that optionality, especially if you work in tech, and a lot of tech's of course in the valley or the city, this kind of gets you in between. If you work in healthcare, of course you got options in the city like CPMC, UCSF, or of course Stanford down here, Sutter Health. There's just a lot of options. And then if you work in biotech in South San Francisco, very easy to get to from here. And of course there's a lot of other professions that if you're watching this I haven't mentioned, but it's just a great central location from that perspective. If you're thinking about making a move to San Mateo or to the peninsula in general, I'd love to be your peninsula real estate resource of choice. So give me a call, shoot me a text, email, whatever it is, and would love to chat with you guys. Lastly, if you're curious to see what a $4 million plus new construction home looks like a few blocks away, check out this video. I'll see you guys soon.